morning and welcome to Early Starters, where we bring you most important conversations about trending political and social issues. My name is Miriam, okay? And this morning I will be, delving into a very, very important topic and something that is, of course, of human interest and from the political space. And I won't be doing that alone this morning because Michael will be doing justice to some of these topics. And of course, I have a personality who knows how best to dissect, bisect and diagonalize political matters. But first, good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Mary. You're looking dashing.
I'm looking dashing.
Wonderful.
I don't need
Beautiful.
you to tell me. I always tell you that I'm a lady that needs no validation from nobody.
Okay.
But still, thanks for the compliment. You look good too.
Yes.
Yeah, you look really good. And thank God it's Friday. I know that you are going to be going for an event right after the program. You, Michael,
We'll be
you
going
like
together.
food.
We'll be
You
going
like food, I know you like food.
I don't like. I love food.
You love food. Okay.
Love.
Okay, I'm
Not
taking that like back and I'm giving you love. You love food. So you are declared a foodie on the program this morning. Away from that, this morning, let's quickly look at some of the stories that made it to the front page of our dailies. I'm going to be starting with the Nigerian Tribune. This morning, I have stories about MKO won June 12 election. Abacha annulled it. IBB says, how many years now? Nigeria, my country. 1993. That's on the page 4 and 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. It says, without Babangida, I wouldn't have joined politics. This is coming from Chidumbu. Dangote Rabiu, Danjuma Ator Eze. Others donate 16 billion naira for IBB Presidential Library. Something like a replicate of Obasanjo's library. Well, they used to be the key players in our political space, but now I don't know. It's okay. My GM asked somebody yesterday, and she said, "Do you even know? Do you know who IBB is? Do you know what is it called? Do you know this man that held the political?" Yes. Thank you. And she was like, I don't know, I'm a Gen Z. I said, you are a Gen Z does not mean that you can't or you're not privileged to,
you should not familiarize yourself with such
to get
history,
information about what goes on in the country.
Yeah.
At least there is history, even though we are still fighting to keep history in our education. Yes, but
in
then
our schools. Yes.
But then you need to read as a student, whether you're a millennial or a Gen Z. You need to read and familiarize yourself with what goes on in the country and the history about your country. Yes, moving forward, I have stories about Natasha in another shouting match with Akpabio. NUT slams federal government over 12-year basic education proposal. You are a product of God's grace at 77. Cleric tells Awolowo Dosumu, and that's on the page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Senate observes minute silence for late Adebanjo. Page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Federal government terminates Oyo Ogbomoso road contract and to flag off Ojo Iwo road section of Lagos Ibadan highway. BC Akonde misrepresented me in his comment on death of Bola Ige. Wow. Brigadier General Oluwole Rotimi, AGF to Osun Governor, shelf local government poll, Court of Appeal reinstated APC chairman. You are not a court law. Osun government replies AGF. And thank God I have somebody who will be doing justice to the crisis in Osun State this morning. CBN retains 27.50% interest rate, maintains monetary policy That's on the page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And moving forward, can I have the Vanguard newspaper on the screen, please? Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard newspaper. I have it talking about June 12. I feared Abiola's assassination could lead to civil war, says IBB. This man is looking for something. I don't know. I don't understand. No evidence. USAID funds Boko Haram. U.S. ambassador. And that's on the page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Court rejects Trump's request to reinstate birthright citizenship ban. 125 years. This rule has been in place. Yes. Why should somebody just wake up one morning and say we don't want to have this?
If it is best for his citizenship and if it's best for the monetary part of the government, I believe.
I think racism is the one at work.
Racism.
Yes.
I don't want to agree with that. I don't want to agree with that.
Let's see the outcome of all of these rules and new policies is trying to bring on board. Senate to federal government name national monument after Ayo Adebanjo. A local government crisis may lead to violence if with 3 dots. If what? Tell us now. This is coming from PDP governors, and that's on the page 4. And from the world of sport, I have Del Piero slams Gasparini over Lookman comments. And moving forward, I'm going to be looking at stories from the Guardian newspaper. I love to say conscience nurtured by truth. The Guardian newspaper. Very good. Guardian newspaper this morning. Yes. So the Guardian newspaper this morning, I have the burning surfaces. 32 years later, IBB admits Abiola won June 12, 1993 election, regrets annulment. And that's on the page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. CBN adopts cautious approach to rebased inflation, upholds parameters. And next 6 action against malnutrition, sidesteps tax bill, state police, and others. And that is on the page 2 and 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Federal government tells Adeleke to suspend Osun local government election. Elofo Kombale, Emma worry. Analyst is here at the studios, to talk about it. Just calm down. We'll do justice to that very crisis. Population growth will spike petrol demand by 93 billion liters. 93 BS liters. ARDA warns. That's on the page 4. Okpebholo scores administration eye after 100 days in office. And Lagos warns motorists against fake VINs, concealed number plate. And finally, I have US says USAID not sponsoring Boko Haram, vows to target terrorists across Africa. And that is on the page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Finally, before I say bye-bye to the newspaper review this morning, let's quickly take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper knocks as IBB regrets annulling MKO's Abiola's victory.
He's making the banner today.
I said it. He's looking for something. You see the library and talking about the annulment of the 1993 election is a strategy. He needs to come back into to the political space. So he's trying to look for something to bring him back. Ex-police chiefs fault federal government 55 billion naira security contracts for Turkish firm, and presidential panels gulp 21 billion naira in 7 years. And that's on the page 12 of the Punch newspaper. 13.7 trillion naira federation account revenue withheld by NNPCL. FAAC report, and I'm going to be taking this 2027 no automatic ticket for OT. Labour Party insists. And Economist warns CBN as MPC retains 27.5% interest rate. On page 19, Naira rises to 1,494.03 Naira per dollar at official market, not their booking regular. Page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Tension as Natasha tackles Senate President over seats relocation. Kidnapper Evans, now prison teacher. Willing to forfeit 14 trucks. That's on page 4. And finally, have the same story. AGF warns Adeleke against local government poll. IG dismisses governor's allegation. And that's all I have on the front page of the newspaper this morning. And I want to quickly take us through some of the stories that made it to the to our business segment this morning. I'm going to take it really quick. It's talking about Naira, appreciating to 1,514 Naira per dollar in parallel market. And the story says the Naira continues its strong performance. The local currency appreciates again to close to 1,514 Naira per dollar at the parallel market on Wednesday, February 19th, and this represents an 11 Naira or 0.72% gain when compared to what it used to be. And moving on, I have stories from the Providence Bank announcing the pleasure, the joy in their hearts to have appointed Mr. Mahmood Tukur as a non-executive director at the Radisson Blue Anchorage Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. And Mr. Mahmood Tukur, who is the founder and GCEO of Ash Grove Group, is an award-winning global business leader with 3 decades of experience across the energy, maritime infrastructure, and technology sectors. And the bank states that his extensive experience and multifaceted skill sets, including corporate governance, risk management, strategy, and performance management, will be invaluable as we strengthen our strategic direction and drive sustained growth. And when Gen Z, ask this question, I don't even know who to pick as my mentor. I will tell them, who have you been studying? Who have you been listening to? Who have you been watching? What story have you been following? Have you taken your time to read the newspaper? Even, online you can see the news headlines and all.
Don't read newspapers.
They don't
they follow social media handles.
And the followers of fake news.
TikTok,
and TikTok.
Snapchat. they hardly. I pray I see Gen Zs that read the papers.
I don't want to start the argument of Gen Zs this morning, but you will hear more than enough from us tomorrow on Opera Weekend. Just stay tuned. This is Early Starters. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll bring you the analysts that will be doing justice to the Osun State crisis. Please stay with us.
Welcome to Opportune TV, your premier destination for unlimited entertainment. Opportune Television, your TV, ask for more.
To be play we come for today. I come they beg now, they beg everybody. I beg because of our colleague, our friend for media. We be comedian too. We know as Itu Baba Ita. We name be Suleiman Hosseini. And because of him, I come here today. Since September 2024, last year, he done dey sick. And when they diagnose him, they can say he get heart and kidney related issue. But now, as soon as they see him on our screen, so In leg don't swell up. So as in body, all in shoulder, they don't turn. So now you don't even get strength again. And the main problem we you get now, the money to they buy drugs. Even before them go talk of surgery at all. But make you get money to they sustain himself. And the drugs are very expensive drugs. That make me come to my fellow Nigerians, come they beg when I beg with anything. 1,000 na money, 2,000 na money, 5,000 na money, 10,000 na money. Make una help us support Oseni Emmanuel Suleiman, where would they call Itu Babaita. Now one of Benga Adeboye's boy, where they present with Benga Adeboye for Fumotan in those days. Now in this critical condition now. I beg, you could help you get about 4 children with wife. Again, for this wahala, I beg my country people. The account where una go help us send money to, if una want assist us, I beg. We could pity amo, we could show love. The account na Oseni Emmanuel Sule 0420496090 Wema Bank. Once again, 0420496090 Wema Bank. The name na Oseni Emmanuel Sule. Now thank you everybody.
Welcome back. You're watching Early Starters on your darling station Opportunity TV, and you know that video is about a popular broadcaster, and he has done a lot in this industry, and we are pleading to well-meaning Nigerians to please support him, to please help him stay alive. That's what we are begging you for. We know it's not easy. We know it's not easy to dip your hand into your pocket, but then you can do it. We are kind people in Nigeria, and we pray that God will replenish your pockets as you do so. So this morning I said I have this big joy in my heart, you know, having a comrade, not just a comrade, a political analyst, someone who has, you know, been far and wide. He has talked about everything that has been happening in our political space, and this time is focusing more on the crisis in Osun State. And of course we'll be doing justice by, you know, explaining, giving insightful, you know, solutions, and of course creating a conversation that you will learn from, I will learn from, and of course providing solution to how best we can handle the ongoing crisis in Osun State. Is no other person but the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, Comrade Nelson Ekujimi, the convener, Coalition for Good Governance. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, sir.
I'm so happy to have you on the show this morning,
I'm so happy
sir.
to be here.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
so I watched your interview yesterday when you held a press conference talking about the crisis in Osun State, and I said to myself, I need to have you on the show this morning because a lot has been going on, and people have been saying, no, the chairmen are not at fault. Oh, no, everybody knows that corruption has eaten deep into the cankerworm of this nation, so there is no point talking about it. And some people said, since we have lives been lost from this unforeseen contingency that has erupted to, you know, into a crisis, why not have someone talk about it? Why not have us prefer a solution? And I said, before you will prefer the solution, let me, you know, carry you, you know, from your room or from your office to the Begongon, which is the story of the day. And I'm going to be reading here that the Osun State crisis, the Coalition for Good Governance raises concern over the escalating crisis in Osun State and calls for thorough investigations into allegations of assassination and murder. speaking at the press conference that we now have at our studio, Comrade Ekojimi, convener of the CGG, stressed the need for peace and stability in Osun State, urging all stakeholders. I'm interested in what he will be saying this morning. All stakeholders to work towards engendering peace and respect for the rule of law. That is what I want to, talk about, for the respect for the rule of law. So we need to know what Ganga is the major cause of the crisis from your own standpoint, sir.
Okay, please, thank you for that question.
Yes,
but
sir.
I really want to talk about something that is, disturbing my heart since yesterday.
Sir. All right, sir.
And it is about the book launched by former military dictator Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida.
All right, sir.
We Yorubas, we have this saying that Orudun lenu ashegita.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody who is in pain can never take.
I said it when I was, reading through the.
Somebody who is in pain can never take sweet stories.
Of course, yes.
It will be stories of pain, anger, bitterness,
agony, and
the rest. General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida conducted the most expensive and the most fraudulent transition program in human history. At the end of the day, he committed treasonable felony.
Yes, felony.
Because
yes, that's the word.
He aborted a baby that had already been given birth to. It's just like what former President Olusegun Obasanjo also wanted to do in 2023, if you remember, when the election results were being announced, and former President Obasanjo told President Buhari to cancel the election, knowing fully well that under the law, President Buhari does not have the powers to do that.
Yes.
If you had done that, that would be treason. That is to tell you the character of former President Obasanjo and General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. They are birds of a feather. So going to I feel pain because under that crisis that Babangida sold into this country.
All right, sir.
MK Abiola, who won that election, was killed in detention. His wife
was killed,
was assassinated.
Yes.
Alfred Iwane was assassinated in Ikeja.
Yes.
Bagadaka, a journalist, today we can't find him.
Yes, missing.
Thousands of Nigerians lost their lives, lost their property, lost their limbs.
Just on this cause.
Just because of what IDB caused us. Because it was like Armageddon has come. And if you remember, because you were talking about the Gen-Zs, we had to chase him away. Because he wanted to become life president. He was supposed to go on August 27, 1993.
Yes.
But he ran away on 26th August because the country became ungovernable for him. When he gives orders, the citizens will disobey and will go onto the streets. And when the military saw that this had become unbearable, the military had to tell him to excuse from governance. Now he didn't. You remember he said, "I'm stepping aside."
Yes, he said.
He was forced to run. He ran away. Yes. So coming back 32 years after to come and tell us.
And we gullible Nigerians are celebrating the fact that he's saying that he wants to open why should anybody that's done something reasonable?
It's an insult.
Yes, it's an insult. Yes, an insult.
He should keep his confessions to himself, and that will haunt him. We leave him to God. What he has done to this country, because part of what we are going through today.
Sir, why can't we just bring God outside of this matter? Why can't we hand him over to the rule of law? Is there any law in place or something that can just checkmate or question him, for coming out 32 years later, now declaring that he is fully aware, of the annulment of the election?
But he shifted the blame. Meanwhile, he was the head of state and commander-in-chief. He said he's Abacha. That is even more insulting.
Yes.
Because he knows Abacha is dead. And the death cannot speak. You can imagine that tells the type of person Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida is. That's why they call him evil genius. Everything about former military dictator Babangida is about evil. And because what you have said,
Gen Zs need to learn.
They need to go and read.
And that's why they are trying to bring.
He's the one that plunged this country from us.
Yes, they're trying to take it away from
I believe he's one of the people who are trying to shove history away from.
Yes, but he cannot succeed because a lot of us who were partakers in that process, we are still alive. I was a university student.
Then
yeah.
Yes.
When it happened, I was in my final year in the university. And you remember, Babangida will ban in the morning, ban in the afternoon, ban in the evening. He will say new breed, he will say old breed, he will say middle breed. And
my daddy even tagged him as Oga Curfew.
So I was like, what does this man really want? Until we now realized that what he was only trying to do was to ensure that he remained the president of Nigeria for life. He wanted to transmute from a military head of state to a civilian president without election.
Just like Gaddafi.
Yes. He didn't want, he knew he could not face Nigerians because under former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, this government could not account for $12.4 billion Gulf oil windfall. You remember the Gulf war?
Gulf war, yeah.
We made humongous amount of money because
that's why people are now talking about $12.5 million.
$12.4 billion is not naira. In 1991,
yes.
No, there's no record for that. He doesn't have a record for it.
So you can imagine. So under Babangida, before Babangida came, corruption is part of human life. Let us admit the truth. But before Babangida came into our political life, we used handkerchief to soak corruption. But now, it's and everything about us.
Complete regalia.
Babangida made corruption a way of life in the Nigerian society, and we are still suffering from it.
So away from that, so let's quickly talk about the ongoing crisis in Osun State.
Yes.
Can we actually, or should we have done something to avoid the scenario that we are experiencing now?
Yes, thank you very much. I think the blame for this whole orgy of violence should rest squarely on the shoulders of the governor of Osun State. Because the governor of Osun State is the governor of whether you are APC, ZLP, NM, anywhere you are, is the governor.
MES.
Is the governor of all, and one expects, as the father of all, not to engage in acts that will put the life of the citizens in danger. The former administration before him of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola conducted a local government election. And before the inauguration of Governor Adeleke, a court of law declared that election null and void.
That's on February 10th.
Yes. When Governor Oyetola assumed office, by executive order, he dissolved that local government administration because the courts had declared that election illegal. Now the aggrieved chairmen were sent out of office. Governor Adeleke was well within the confines of the law. What he was doing as at that time were constitutional. But come 2025, just about a week ago or so, the Court of Appeal, which is the superior court to the High Court that gave that ruling in 2023, the Court of Appeal, which is a superior court, now gave a judgment that judgment that was given by the High Court held in law, that judgment cannot stand. So if the Court of Appeal has nullified that judgment, it means whatever that judgment gave, that was the basis on which you acted, has become null and void. So ordinarily, you expect any law-abiding government to have said, okay, the court of appeal has given this judgment, we are going to abide with it, we will reinstate them, but we are going to challenge that judgment by going further to the Supreme Court. Lo and behold, Governor Adeleke never did that. Rather, he came on air, he was making all sorts of allegations, and you know, when you start making allegations, it is incumbent on those you are alleging to also respond.
Yes, sir. Very well. They will.
Yes, and that was why when some of these reinstated local government chairmen and their councillors wanted to resume back to office, they said some of them were tagged, but we have incontrovertible facts, is all there in the public space, that the chairman of Irewole local government, I think Honorable, is it Tajuddin something Abbas, was murdered.
Yes, I guess two of them.
Yes, from reports, we have about 6 deaths, uncountable number of injured persons. So ordinarily, this crisis was unwarranted, was needless.
And we were told that 2 people from the Senate, participated.
Yes,
or actually,
are being alleged. Yes, so our duty now as Nigerians is to call, because we operate a constitutional democracy.
Yes.
The local government administration is the creation of the constitution. And whatever we do must be in line with the constitution, or else we are inviting anarchy into our
system
domain.
Yes.
So if the courts have given a judgment, it's a replica of what has happened in Osun State now. It's just like what happened in River State. You remember?
Yes, Fubara.
Yes. When the tenure of the local government chairman was supposed to expire, the House of Assembly now said they extended it. And a lot of us said, under law, you cannot extend a tenure.
You cannot extend
that is democratically given.
Yes. So let me away from that a little bit. Let's digress and bring it home to our Lagos, the most beautiful cosmopolitan city. And I want us to quickly look at what's ongoing in the legislative, corner. That's about Miranda and Obasa. Do you think something of such that is happening now in Osun State could probably happen?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely, there's no question about the legitimacy or tenure of the members of the legislature in Lagos State. Don't forget, every legislator is an equal member of the House. So if in their wisdom they have decided to appoint you into executive position, mean leadership position, and if in their wisdom they have also decided that don't lead us again, I think that is a referendum on your leadership. You should be able to accept, because you are all equal. No member of the House of Assembly is representing 2 constituencies and somebody else there is representing 1. Everybody is coming from a constituency, so you are equal. When you become a speaker or a majority leader, you become first or second among equal, or deputy speaker. So if the members have decided to say don't lead us again, I don't think they have committed any crime, because they were the same people that said come and lead us. So people must be ready to abide by the wishes and aspirations of the collective. Okay,
going back to Osun crisis,
yes.
What would you suggest in terms of immediate and long-term step that can be taken to restore peace in Osun State?
The first and immediate step that should be taken right now is for the government of Osun State and the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission to put on hold that local government election that they claim they want to hold tomorrow 22.
Okay, they should stall it.
They should stop it.
Yes.
Because you know why? There's an augury of violence. So if people are dying, people are fighting, terror is on the
it's about to be
free loose on everybody.
Yes.
Is the life of the people unimportant that we have to put them at risk to say we want to conduct election? Even if we are sensitive and we have empathy, even only for this, apart from the fact that in law, if they conduct that election, it will amount to a waste of the time of the people of Osun State. It will amount to a waste of the scarce resources that should have been used to develop Osun State, because it amounts to nullity. Because the Court of Appeal judgment is the law as we speak. So if you go contrary against it, the only authority that can override the law of the Court of the law that the Court of Appeal has enacted. Every judgment is a law.
Yes.
Is the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And so long as the Supreme Court has not yet given a judgment to say what the Court of Appeal said is wrong, that Court of Appeal judgment still stands. So you expect the state government to put that controversial planned local government election on hold, as well as to start mending fences, to apologize. The conciliation.
Apologize.
We should reconcile, because there's bad blood everywhere now. People, when people loses someone You can imagine the pain.
Yes.
If we are not careful, some people will be looking for opportunity to take revenge, and we don't want that.
All right, sir. Looking at the story from your press conference yesterday, I'm going to be reading, and you said CGG appealed to the international community, including the British High Commission and the embassies of the United States, France, and other democracy-loving countries to be circumspect on the political developments in Osun State and not to rush to judgment based on allegations and counter-allegations. I want you to please expatiate on rushing to judgment.
Yes, if you remember in 2020 when we had the EndSARS,
all right, sir,
and it was alleged that the army stormed the Lekki toll gate,
yes,
and they killed, alleged that
allegedly
they
killed
78 people.
Yes.
A lot of the international media rush to press, just like our local media.
Well, some people were saying, some people underreported, and some people said
yes,
it was
from 78 they said 43, from 43 they said 34, from 34 they said 11, 11 they said 7, 7 they said 3, later they said 1.
And I remember some activists actually said that please bring the photograph of
I was in the panel for 1 year, and I can tell you for free on this program
that nobody,
not one,
submitted a photograph.
not one, not photograph, no evidence, police reports, mortuary reports, death certificates, autopsy reports. I'll tell you for free. You know, during the EndSARS, people were killed all over the country.
Yes.
In Fagbaye, it became a tribal war.
Yes.
Between the Yorubas and the
Hausas. Yes.
Professor Obafunwa, who was the chief pathologist of Lagos then, at the panel said 16 corpses were brought from Fagba, and those corpses had neck chain. You know the meaning of neck chain?
Like they were strangled?
No, they were not strangled. Tires were put on their neck and they were burnt. That the 16 corpses were burnt beyond recognition. You can't tell this is this or that.
All tagged to the EndSARS.
Yes, you know, people died in Shomolu, people died in Ekpe, people died in Badagry. So what we are saying here is that when that incident happened, I was at the panel. I saw a lot of conspiracy. When Professor Obafunwa, John Obafunwa, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos,
yes,
former Chief Medical Director of Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasut, is a forensic pathologist. He said they were able to retrieve, they were able to conduct autopsy on about 98 corpses. And when the media will report it, even from the panel sitting that day, they say, you know the reportage headline, Professor Obafunwa says 98 corpses recovered from Lekki toll gates. Meanwhile, corpses were recovered from all over the states. Because we had places like Ojuelegba, where people wanted to attack the Area C police station and they were shot at. Even we had people that were killed at grammar school. That we watched the video, and even when the police were denying, it was Professor Obafunwa's autopsy that revealed that the gunshot that killed that young man was a gunshot fired it was a bullet that had no pellets. I think that viewers, you understand that when they say pellets, all these local guns, when they discharge their bullets, they are always pellets that accompany them. But security agencies guns are guns that when they discharge, nothing comes with it except the bullets. That's the difference. So a lot of those corpses that were found to have gunshot wounds were people that non-state actors killed. You know, as at that time, Courts boys are taking over everywhere because the police were nowhere on the road. They were every year.
1 million boys.
Yes.
1 million boys.
So they were just attacking one another. So when we were at that panel, they couldn't establish it. And so for me, till tomorrow, I will tell them.
So because of that, the British and the international community...
So they now started apologizing. Even say, if you watch the BBC interview, I don't know whether you remember that girl who was interviewed, that you were there when the army were shooting. Were they shooting at the protesters?
I
He said no.
that, yes.
They were shooting into the sky.
Okay.
And the general said we came there to scare them away. So the lady, if you look at her body language, she wanted to lie, but because she knew,
how to curtail it.
because she knew she was working for an organization that her integrity could be destroyed for life, she had to talk straight. She said, "Yes, I was there. I didn't see them shoot at anybody. They were shooting into the sky."
So please, the international community.
But you know, even CNN and BBC later came out and said from their own findings, every video that was submitted to them on which they base their reports were doctored and fake videos. You know, they went as far as bringing videos from our West African countries where they had crisis.
Yes.
I said it happened in Nigeria, Congo,
Yes.
even Mali. They brought all those videos just to, you know, when the this report that came out that USAID is funding Boko Haram, it might not be funding them directly. It could be through NGOs, because a lot of those NGOs are working for interest that is against national security. I'll tell you for free.
And now people are bringing out, you know, evidences that they have money laundered.
Yeah, so we want, we will submit them to investigation. We won't rush to judgment because we don't have the fact. So and that is why for this Osun State, we are also not rushing to judgment because names have been mentioned. But we are just calling on the security agency, because even the Inspector General of Police has been alleged. Even we saw the nephew of the governor threatening the Commissioner of Police of Osun State. And to some of us, that's unacceptable. You can't say because you are
very unacceptable.
Nobody should threaten anybody.
Not to talk of a commissioner of police. Because you are the governor's nephew. Abba.
And it's no
what sort of insult is that?
No logical position.
At all.
No logical.
He now came back and the same thing this young man did during the election, where he was threatening everybody. And people have said he has apologized. His family have called him to it. I hope he has there, but left through me.
Can't the government, take legal actions, or the persons involved take
that is in the hands of the
actions?
police, because a lot of Nigerians are still calling for, like the way Portable was picked up,
yes,
for that threat to life and assault. That is because he's alleged of committing that offense and he has been taken to court and granted. We expect that Davido should also be invited to come and answer questions on that threat to the commissioner of Osun State. Because if Davido, because of his status, can threaten a commissioner of police, you can imagine what he will do to the three of us here who are nobody.
Yes, like me.
Nobody knows us.
Nobody. I don't even.
Except God, I have only God.
I have only God.
Me too, I have only God.
I have only God. And since we are celebrating International Mother Language Day, it is a worldwide annual observance held on 21st February to promote awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity, and of course to promote multilingualism. And because of the multilingualism, we need to look deep into what is happening in our environment, in our indigenous environment, and Osun State is one of our indigenous environment, because when you're talking about Southwest, you cannot but give it to Osun State in the political space. Thank you very much, Comrade Ekunjibi, Nelson Ekunjibi, our own Nelson Mandela. God bless you, sir. We really appreciate you coming to Operation TV this morning, and we hope that we'll bring you every day, almost every day or every week, the face of Comrade Ekunjimi on our TV station, especially on early starters every morning at 9 to 11 a.m. Yes, we'll be calling it a wrap on this program, and we'll be saying that please join us on Upwork Weekend tomorrow, and of course early starters resumes and starts again on Monday through Friday 9 to 11 a.m. Please stay tuned and stay with us. Until then, my name is Miriam, and this is my lovely Michael
Armstrong. Nice to see you. Bye-bye. Thank you.